Hello, everybody, and welcome to session number 19. We've almost hit 20, almost 4/5 of the way through the campaign as we are starting to near the end game. Not quite, but starting to. As you can see, we have a new face, a new guest hanging out with us. This is Radio Has Been, also known previously known as Mecha Michaelis, but Radio, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, definitely on a rather heroic day. Obviously, being Valentine's Day.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that because the warm up question for today is going to be Valentine's Day themed.
Oh no! Oh no!
What's wrong, Skull?
Nothing. I'm not gonna say anything.
What? You're not just totally worried about the fact that your character's the only one who isn't dating anyone?
Yeah, true.
That's okay. I will prompt you guys ahead of time what the question is, so you guys can think about it for a little bit. In the meantime, while that's happening, Mecha, I'm going to ask you to first share with us your character concept. Tell us a little bit about the Black King. And then after everyone gives their warm-up question answers, I will come back to Radio. Sorry, still getting used to that. I will come back to Radio, and if Radio could explain what has the Black King been doing since Dragon Age Season 2, without giving any spoilers away, but just in general, what has the Black King been up to since then? So, for the players, your warm-up question is, so for those of you who are in a romantic relationship at the moment, for those of you who are, seeing how today's Valentine's Day, what would you do romantically for your significant other if Valentine's Day would exist in Thetis? I'd like to believe that there's some holiday, they might not call it that, but there probably is some holiday that is similar to Valentine's Day. What would your character do for that person? Tyrion, you can answer that if there was... So you can either answer this the sad way or the happy way. The sad way is how would Tyrion
with
spend...
tumble or without tumble? That's the real question.
Yep. Oh god damn it.
The sad way is how describe how Tyrion would spend a Valentine's Day single. That's the sad way. If you want to answer it a happier way, if Tyrion hypothetically were to have a significant other, if it was like a parallel universe, if he was to have a significant other within the group, and it could be a PC also. I mean, it could be, but that's up to you. Or really, I'll even say, it could be really any character from any season. Like, I'll just let you decide which character from any season do you think would match well with Tyrion, and if that was the case, why do you think they would match well? And you can also answer the what would you do for Valentine's Day answer for that.
I'll see. I'll figure something out.
So, while people are thinking about that, let's start again with Radio. Radio, to share with us who the Black King is and, what inspired your concept of the Black King.
Obviously, what inspired me the concept of the Black King was, of course, the Awakening DLC. That's like over a decade old now, I believe. Basically, originally, like, obviously, I was hanging around DeviantArt. I'm friends with Lady Ash Insanity, which probably everyone is more likely familiar with. I played with her quite a few times during the Inquisition multiplayer days. And of course the Mass Effect multiplayer days, Mass Effect 3 to be more exact. Pretty much then, obviously, I saw someone made a concept of Sammy the Messenger. So I thought, why not make someone who's the complete opposite, who pretty much still holds some virtues correct, obviously, his provincial heritage, but wants to but follows what the architect basically incites, rather than basically wanting to take over the land like a crazy lunatic, the mother. and hence why obviously the Black King originally came into place. He was a brooding giant, very enormous Herlock Alpha, who pretty much hold an original Darkspawn greatsword. His design has changed, I would say, only twice in a year. He had a redesign of how he originally looked during the Resurgence. But of course now he's had obviously done whether or not Hawk's gonna be displaying it on screen, that obviously he's had a complete design overhaul from what we originally looked like compared to from what we originally looked like. He does have a city that is underground where basically he awakens the Darkspawn, so he tries to free the Darkspawn from the songs of the old gods. Lucien and Razical, of course, are still on the loose. Of course, he's not on the hunt for them at this moment in time. He believes there are bigger priorities than the dragons and the next two blights. And obviously his city is actually named Fortuna, which is actually Vinter for future.
Yeah, so I think the awakened city that you guys were at is actually called Fortuna, and that's something that Radio just told me recently. So cool. And we knew this from season 2, so this isn't a spoiler. What is the defining physical characteristic of the Black King in his chest at the moment? What is that?
Obviously, he has pretty much, well, 2 hearts in this case. Obviously, he's got his normal Darkspawn heart, and he does have a Lyrium heart. And if basically an archdemon or a certain magister enters his body as like a sort of foreign body, like a virus, it then activates and therefore creates a 5-mile radius explosion made out of pure lyrium. This is not enough to rip the Fade as of yet, but apparently he's now become in tuned with the heart, so now he's basically amplified his own powers and is able to see into the Fade itself.
Yeah. And so, in theory, destroying a Magister Siderial once and for all is has an unknown solution, but this could theoretically be a solution to destroying a Magister Siderial without having them basically body hop into another body. But it comes with a huge cost for the Black King. Sweet.
Maybe a city or two.
Not necessarily. Well, just don't be in the vicinity of an explosion. So, now, okay. So clearly, the Black King has a personal vendetta against Corypheus, and one could even describe it as an obsession. But we will get to that in a moment. So, as Radio said, it's Valentine's Day as of this recording, and so let us go ahead and hear what romantic plans our characters have for their significant others, or hypothetical significant others, or if Skull wants to be sad, he can be sad too. Who wants to go first? Oh, okay, go ahead.
Being myself, never done Valentine's. I don't quite know the thing about it, and Darren doesn't either because he's a slave. So, what he would do, that I can think of with Darren, is he would, they would go to a very nice dinner. Nothing beyond like just a normal kind of fancy dinner. But at the end of it, and he would look for a place that has kind of an open area. And once the dinner was over, he would have a few musicians come on stage, and then he would basically have a private dance with Darren and have her lead. And he would 100% include both his silk handkerchief and her whole wrappings.
Does Daretham know how to dance?
not like amazingly well, but he's got a dex of 4, and he's got a communication etiquette. So I think he knows like the basics from his slave training because he was high up there. I think for him it'll be a little more learn as he goes, but he's not a natural at it, but he won't fumble at it.
So there wouldn't be anyone from the group you would ask to teach you?
Oh, certainly. If someone knew how to dance, then he would be like, yeah, I would like to learn before I have this.
Who would he ask because he thought they would know how to dance? I'm just curious.
I wouldn't ask Tyrion because, Tyrion may be nimble, but he's not necessarily a dancer. Leon, no.
What?
It's between Rousseau and Pasha.
I was gonna say, it doesn't even have to be a PC, but go ahead.
Ooh, Nathan.
Nathan would know how to dance.
Nathan. 100% Nathan.
I can see Nathan, like, you just put your hand on my waist, you could put, and then Tyrion, like, sees it. He's like, oh, don't take Nathan away from me.
So yeah, definitely ask Nathan.
Nathan. Okay.
Ask Nathan how to dance, and then have the dinner and private dance with Darren.
Sweet, I love it. Very, very beautiful. Who wants to go next?
I do.
Oh, Pasha. Tell me what the Canary would this be a traditional Canary form of courtship or not?
This would not, because that would basically just you, me, the cabin now. That's Valentine's Day. No, Pasha would take Athon. Oh, I can't believe I forgot his name for a minute there. She would take Athon, and she'd go for a nice griffin ride, low to the ground, because she knows that he's afraid of heights. So maybe she'd like fly Valor like over a lake, so you've got that nice vista, and then she'd take him to like a forest where she'd have set up like a little picnic. And they would have a nice Valentine's Day picnic amongst nature, which I think he'd like, and it'd just be cute and romantic. There we go.
Very cute.
So, the best thing about the relationship is you need to spend quality time together. So, Rosie and Leon would go into the woods and start collecting different foliage, and go out with a nice basket filled with cheese and other sort of condiments, and forage for food. And the amount of food and the amount of things to eat would be dependent upon both spending time together as well as the fruits of your labor, picking berries and the lights, and from there you start thinking about what brews you can brew with like either potions or poisons, and then eventually you figure out you just have a grand old time.
Oh joy. So, I don't think it'd be anything too elaborate, but I feel like Russo and Violetta would probably take like a trip to Antiva, just the two of them, and enjoy each other's company, and maybe go to a ball outfit match dress, considering that's a thing they do.
It would be kind of tough to top the original first date, because that was actually very romantic as well. Cool. All right. Is there any particular place in Antiva that you would go? Would it be like a vineyard or an opera, or?
He'd probably opt to go to the opera because he's very uncultured when it comes to Antiva, meaning he doesn't know like a lot of it there. Like he'd like to learn more of it.
Be that. And last but not least, our Japanese anime boy.
I mean, I don't want it to be like I don't think Tyrion would like have a actual relationship with someone. I don't think even in the previous seasons, but I don't think his Valentine's Day would be sad. It would be more sort of a medium where, and I think this would be tradition based on his bloodline, where he would take a paper and he would go to the wilderness, like find a lonely tree, and he would be trying to draw the faces of his mother and father together. And this is like, and if so, it's like every year of Valentine's Day he would sort of do that, and this sort of a tradition he was learned from his parents. So I think that's what he would be doing. It's like to remember them, to see this is where I am now, and I have to thank them for it. even though, well, of all the things that happened to my life, I have to find some happiness. So I think that's what he would. That's sort of his main, what he would do on Valentine's Day. So
Okay.
May I also answer the question?
Yes, you may. Yes, you may.
What the Black King would do for us, basically, you would just tell her, take the day off, and so will I. Let's just spend some time together.
Yeah, just because I don't know if it will come up in natural roleplay radio, because I kept this very open-ended because I didn't want to make any presumptions. But radio, can you sort of describe or explain the relationship between the Black King and the Black Queen, Razakale?
Obviously, their relationship is very, very platonic, even though she has actually bared his children, as it were. Many people will probably describe that to be the most foulest thing on the face of Thedas, but trust me, he still loves his children as much as anyone else would. Of course, that now she's turned into a brood mother, he's just like, okay, I don't know how to react to this.
So the Black King does have feelings for Razakale, even though he may not express it very often. Is that not? No.
Yeah.
Okay. It's cool. Thank you for clarifying that. Okay. I would like for everybody to roll a perception, seeing or hearing, whichever one is higher for you. Seeing or hearing, and that includes the Black King. Tyrion and Pasha will see a figure approaching, not beelining to your camp, but approaching the general direction of your camp from the distance, and you can tell that the creature it doesn't seem human, it doesn't seem elven, and it doesn't seem dwarven because it's very tall, first of all. It's accompanied by a shorter creature that looks to be human in some sort of armor, though. So there's two figures coming in your general direction. But Tyrion, with your perception roll, you can tell that this being has similar features to the architect, which you probably are surprised by.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look at I imagine Pasha's saw this, so I'm looking at her. Go, do you see that? Is that that creature looks like a darkspawn or the architect?
It's too far away for me, I'm afraid. Do you still have the telescope?
Yeah.
From Eureka?
He pulls out his rifle. I can always use that.
So Tyrion pulls out. Tyrion pulls out a sniper rifle and aims it at your direction. You don't see it, though. You don't see it. And it doesn't have a red dot because we're not in that technology.
Yeah.
But you can clearly see that this is a Magister, not a Sidereal, though. It's not a Magisterial, but it definitely appears to be an awakened Darkspawn. Like I said, similar to the Black King, similar to the architect.
As I'm seeing this, and I'm going to yell out, "Dartham!"
What?
He hands you the sniper. Take a look at the visual and point at that
fumbles
figure.
with it for a second, but will then awkwardly angle it up.
He helps you.
Yeah, and he'll look through.
You will recognize the Black King, because I'm assuming, yes, you have met the man before.
Yeah, and Darren's here too, right?
And Darren's there too. Yeah, actually, yes. You're in camp, so all of the NPCs are there, including Nathan and them. And so, in addition to that, the other individual who is traveling with the Black King is this character, whom you should be familiar with if you saw Dragon Age Season 2. So...
I know him. I don't remember anything about him.
He's a former he was a friend of Palos there.
That's Andrea's ex-boyfriend. That's now bitch boy to the Black King.
This sounds vaguely familiar. Okay. Would I recognize him because I have been around Fortuna?
Some people would say, the Black King's like he's
Lapdog.
yeah,
Okay.
manslave or among other
Squire?
things. Squire is what other people would say. So
I think Darren probably notices the most, but everyone could see as Darren looks through, he just tenses up.
I imagine it seems you're tensing up, Dartham.
And he'll hand the rifle back and will take off his hood.
We in for a fight?
Probably not. I would kind of look to Balm and just like give a sigh and then step a little more forward, like to be in front, and just wait.
the Black King, you, like I said, your perception roll was pretty low. However, as you are traveling, Aaron Cobb will pipe up and he will say, "My liege, over there," and he'll point towards what looks like it's a campfire of some sort. But what is particularly also immediately noticeable, other than the fire itself, is this hulking, large ogre, this large darkspawn ogre, hunched over, and probably like you may not be able to tell this, but probably like massaging Darren or something at the moment.
with a blue mustache.
Yes, with a blue mustache. And then you will immediately recognize, like I said, that to be an ogre, which is a very unusual thing to see, like cavorting with campers at a campfire. Not very usual. I await your orders, my liege.
Let us approach as much as we can, calmly, gently, not to try and cause too much hostility. Remember, we have other business we need to attend to. We do have enough to prevent any more bloodshed.
As you wish. And he did have his blade out, but he will sheath it. But he will I think this is kind of normal. By default, he's going to stay in front of you, just in case, unless you tell him not to. So he will lead the way towards this group. And I will say that before you get into speaking distance, normal speaking distance, the Black King will recognize Dartham. Go ahead, Black King. Roll me a knowledge or a cunning history, or
Historical lore.
or historical lore. Excuse me. I don't know if you have a focus in historical lore, but
I do cunning number 3.
all right.
So obviously
See what you get.
3 to do 3 die.
Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah.
six
good. Good.
6 stun points.
Very
and a 16.
good. And you got to yes, very good. Okay, so the Black King, you have heard that there's been a series of violent dragon attacks that have been attacking various cities around Thetis, and you have heard rumors that there is a new group of heroes ? That have made it a point to take care of these dragon attacks, known as the Dragon Chakra Avatars. You presume that these are they, and some people are referring to them as the Guardians 2.0, but they seem to have different sources of power from the Guardians. Is there anything that either side is going to do before you get into normal conversation distance of each other? Okay.
Dartham, everybody would be able to see that Dartham hasn't sat down at the fire or anything. I don't know what everyone else is doing, but Dartham is just kind of standing, arms like crossed in front of it, but not like crossed, but like hands clasped together in front of him, and it's just waiting.
Pasha
He's
will
basically mentally shitting himself.
Pasha, go ahead.
Pasha just kind of is looking at Dartham and going, who is this person? You know him? Who are we dealing with here?
The Black King.
The Black King, Nathan
And?
says. Is that one of the Magister Siderials?
No, but he is the king of the Darkspawn city we were in.
I beg your pardon, Nathan says.
I'll tell you later.
Leon's gonna go up to Pasha and be like, "Do you have any cookies left? Just to be more hospitable to our guests."
Pasha starts rooting through her bag. She's pulling out like I've got some bonbons, I've got some fudge. Pasha, she's running her own sweet shop on the side. I'm telling you.
She's gonna be fudging herself in a minute.
Rosie looks a little excited. So I forgot to talk to you about this before radio. So Rosie, I don't know if you remember, is Theobin's daughter. And
Yes.
Rosie has actually frequented the city of Fortuna a number of times, and she's very well liked by the citizens of Fortuna. And I don't know if you encourage this, but she sort of also sees you as the fun. She sees you as the fun uncle, or at least the interesting uncle. So whether or not you embrace that or not is up to you. But she still is respectful. Like when she sees you, she'll still refer to you as Your Highness. So
Yes.
I think when you finally reach normal conversation distance, Rosie will immediately, bow down, like get down on one knee and says, "Your Lordship, welcome. Oh, sorry, we didn't realize that you were coming to see us." And she has this big smile on her face.
He goes down on one knee and shut up and give me a hug.
Oh, and she's just gonna run over to you and she's gonna wrap her arms around the Black King. And Nathan's just kind of watching this and he's looking at Daretham and he says, "Yes, I have a lot of questions. A lot of questions."
We'll have a long conversation afterwards.
And at this point, Rosie will give you a hug and she's gonna whisper, "Guess what? Guess what? What is it okay if she calls you Uncle Black, or what would she call
it's
you?
fine.
Uncle Black."
It's fine.
She's like, "Guess what, Uncle Black? I found a boy." She looks very, very happy about this. "I found a boy."
He just gives her head pats going, poggers.
Do you want... Oh, yeah, I'll introduce you at some point. He's really nice.
Okay, cool. That'll definitely be splendid. But, I'm here actually on business.
Oh, of course. Of course, Your Highness. Why don't I go ahead and see if I can get you something to eat? And she's just gonna... With that, she's going to give you another bow, and then she's going to go over and probably find some food for the campfire.
Yes.
And Aaron's kind of sees you go, and he's like, "What? I don't get a hug?"
He slowly turns his head to Aaron going, "Shut up."
"Yes, my liege," he says, and he'll just shut up.
And then as the Black King turns back, probably his eyes will meet Daretham, and Daretham has, in past times, I imagine the Black King has met Daretham maybe once or twice before he went off and started rampaging, and Daretham never showed any respect, never called him His Highness, never did anything to indicate he followed him. And there's maybe a second or two where they just kind of stare at each other, and then whatever would be proper, on one knee or bowing or whatever, Daretham would not overtly prostrating himself, but not holding back at all. He would kneel and say,
Your Highness.
Black King gets up, obviously back on both feet, obviously after kneeling down. He says, "Greetings. I will speak to you later when my business is dealt with, hopefully."
Of course.
he remains kneeling as he has not been commanded to rise.
Alright.
Stand up.
If you care for some refreshments, I believe some of our party have plenty.
Of course. I would like to enter your camp, please.
And he turned back.
Any objections?
No, come on in.
Yeah, if you don't mind us asking, what business do you have? Maybe we could help.
I've actually been after you guys, actually. Obviously, you guys have been slaying some dragons as of late, which is all well and good. But of course, there is a certain person, more likely probably you guys been searching for him as well, as much as I have. I've been searching for him for nearly a decade. The bastard's been slipping through my fingers every single time I get an inch closer.
Well, now there's 4 more of him.
Oh, fuck.
So, as I explained to radio, the Black King was not aware that there are 4 others. Was not aware at all. What is your reaction visually? You just said it verbally. What's going through the Black King?
You technically don't see on his helmet, but he pretty much does look traumatized. He's just trying to contain the unwielding anger that's currently boiling right now.
So based on that reaction, you probably think that the Black King is actually not up to date on a lot of things at this point.
No.
So seeing that, Daretham would say, "We have had a few encounters. Would you like us to illuminate you?"
Yes, enlighten me, please.
So, again, in the interest of time, they'll just explain to you. Are you pretty much going to reveal virtually everything you know about the Siderials at this point? Yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll even.
Everyone just passes all the information, just with a drop of the hat.
I'll also even reveal, and obviously the Black King didn't know this before, but that Daretham was previously, back during Ancient Adventure, a slave of Cepheus, of Corypheus.
Oh, great, you've probably screwed us all over. Thanks. But, luckily...
I don't think it was a royal we, but whatever.
No, it's more the world that I'm more concerned with. Obviously, Corypheus has obviously started to jump bodies. No wonder why it's been proven hard to find the bastard. But I may have an upper hand. Obviously, there are certain things that he's after, and there are certain things that I'm after. Mainly his corpse. But... obviously... we are both pet slaves of Corypheus here. Technically, one's of House Parvus. Which I don't mind. But... which how, obviously, more likely you guys will have to deal with the other magisters alone without me. Because obviously, between me and Corypheus, that is our own personal vendetta. He's my debt and my debt alone to deal with. He's already a threat. By his body hopping, by cheating death, like any other archdemon, he would technically, more likely, be a worse threat than even the Dreadwolf himself.
Do you have a way to permanently end him?
He taps his heart. 5-mile radius. Boom.
Couldn't he also use that against you? Or is that a certain way to kill him?
It is a certain way to kill him, yes. It will literally not only destroy his body in reality, but it will also destroy his body even in the Fade itself. That is how concentrated this lyrium is.
Well, we can't do that for all the Magisters, and even that sounds like it will have untold side effects, even after, well, if it's successful.
Indeed. I've had this for many an era. I have become attuned to it. I have mastered it for many, many years. Of course, with you lot, this is only a one-time use. I only have one shot against Corypheus as much as I can. And I'm willing to risk my life in Felfadas to make sure its safety in numbers, to make sure that my people are no longer branded as the barbaric heathens that they are ought to be by the songs of the old gods, to live in peace and harmony away from their dark past.
Well, I hope you know what you're doing, because, I mean, not that you don't know, but...
Oh,
5
trust me,
miles.
I don't. I'm just basically half playing this. I'm just trying to go for this on the fly.
I guess we're all doing that.
Pretty much.
Not
Anyone else have some questions?
not to sound ungrateful, a 5-mile lyrium explosion sounds pretty devastating, very, very devastating, in fact. I don't suppose it would be possible to get Corypheus to body jump at least one more time before you eviscerate the body he's inhabiting.
It has to be him. Once basically he dies in that body, he'll more likely try and enter into me. That is when it will go off.
I get that, but what I'm saying is the body he's currently in, I don't particularly want that body to get exploded. That's why, can we get him to body hop one more time, then you fight him, and this body over here isn't evaporated. I kind of need this body, maybe a little bit.
You can use mine, and you'll hear Bomb say that. I'm willing to make the sacrifice.
Daretham looks over, a sharp look towards Balm. Doesn't say anything, but Balm can kind of get like just like a slow shake of his head as Daretham looks to him.
He noticed that, and for a moment you see a brief like sense of, you know, a little bit twinge of
Guilt.
Guilt's not the right word. It's like he knows what he's doing, but he also understands the relationship he has with Daretham. So it's sort of like a twinge of, oof, yeah, I know, buddy, I know. This is rough, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. And then he just turns back towards to the Pasha and the Black King again, like with some resolve that he's willing to make the sacrifice if it means saving Daniel Lento's body.
That would be immensely kind of you, Balm, but we don't even know where Corypheus or Daniel is. But if that did happen, I would be immensely grateful to you, but don't feel pressured. Not on my account, please.
It would be ironic, given my name, Bomb says, even though it's spelled B-A-L-M. But you could also pronounce bomb as B-O-M-B. So that would be kind of ironic.
Daretham just gives like a short, dry chuckle. I believe he's saying this to Darren, and one of his hands would be clasped in hers, and he'd be holding her hand tight, and she could kind of tell it's like some sense of stability.
Yeah. She looks very surprised by Bomb's proposal, and she understands. And so she just kind of, you know, I think she's gonna like lean her head onto your shoulder to try to comfort you.
Lean in a little bit.
I'm not to undermine any of your guys' resolve, but I want to save the 5-mile bomb as a last resort. Do we have any other?
Well, we still need to figure out the other how the hell we're gonna kill the other magisters.
Yeah.
One dies, they're just gonna go to another body, if that's the case. And there's no way we can really do that, at least any normal way, so...
Could we fight them in the Fade?
Well, if we're lucky enough, that bomb might just rip open the Fade with how it was damaged 10 years ago.
It was almost used to rip open the Fade 10 years ago. But luckily, there was another alternative.
Radio. At this point, I'm sort of like adding this in. Hopefully, this is okay. It's your heart. Now you can see like externally. Can you kind of see like lyrium veins, kind of, on your chest? Is that visible at all?
You could see them glowing up to his neck, and you see it sparkling slightly in his eyes, but not much.
Okay. You can visibly see a sudden change in the intensity of the glow of the Black King's lyrium heart, similar to, you know how in the Lord of the Rings, Sting, like the dagger glows whenever orcs are around. So that intense glow, radio, means that your target Corypheus is nearby.
In a 5-mile radius, maybe?
Within a 5-mile radius. However, in order to be effective, the bomb has to explode, like, pretty much within...
Adjacent, yeah.
Adjacent. I mean, the idea is, like I said, Corypheus jumps into...
Yeah.
Jumps into his body, and then it explodes.
Sorry, I guess my question was, since the bomb is a radius of 5 miles, does that mean that the detection is 5 miles? Okay.
Correct. Yes, correct. So that has never happened before. So it seems like up to this point, Corypheus has never been within a 5-mile radius of the Black King until now.
It's not going to explode, is it?
He's near.
Oh.
Shit.
He doesn't have a body of a Grey Warden. Maybe he's trying to sneak into the Weissaupt.
More likely, probably to obtain more information on the Grey Wardens and how they defeated the Darkspawn for the past several years. And probably try and find out information about my operation that I have with the Black Wardens.
Can you get any finer adjustments, like a compass, or just that you know he's around?
I could feel his energy. The red lyrium that's currently flowing into his veins is compared to mine.
I will say that as he gets closer, which he is, you can feel him getting closer, you can start to get a sense of what direction. A sense of direction he's coming from. So if you'd like radio, that option is there for you.
Yes. Do I roll? Perception roll?
Yeah, why not? Perception or magic, whichever is higher for you. Perception
let's
or
go
magic?
for Magic, because I recently put
Yes.
the lyrium tube on him. So
That sounds great.
a 4.
So 3d6 plus, and we'll even say that this is a focus, so we'll also add a +2 on top of that.
Yes.
So your magic is 4, okay. 9 plus 4.
So
so it's
15.
15. 15?
15.
Yes. Yes. You can feel that he basically the direction that he is coming from does suggest that he is making his way to Weissaupt, which again makes sense. If he's in a Grey Warden's body, that makes sense.
He's heading towards the fortress. I can't go there, because otherwise I'll get shot. Well, whatever.
I'm going to stand up a bit. I'm going to make my way towards the part of the camp where we could see White Top Fortress, and I'm going to pull out my rifle and take a look to the scope, see if I could see Daniel, Lento, or like anyone that matched the description.
While you're doing that, Nathan is gonna pipe up and say, if this is our chance to take down one of the Magis or Siderials, then I don't think we want to wait for him to get within a 5-mile radius of Weissaupt.
No, we
want
don't.
him to catch him before he gets that close to Weissaupt.
If we don't try and get away from him, get away from that place as much as possible, isolate him, corner him.
Well, let's get going.
Perception roll, please, as you're looking through the sniper rifle.
Seeing, I imagine.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
That's 11.
Okay, you don't see anything that looks like Corypheus. However, even with an 11, because it is pretty large, you see what looks like a high dragon flying in the direction of Weishaupt.
Oh shit! And I'm going to like say, "Hey, I can see a high dragon near Weishaupt."
The fucking course.
Well,
what I suggest is we parlay that the wardens temporarily evacuate Weishaupt while we deal with the dragon, and then Corypheus should show up.
No, Corypheus is on the dragon. I guarantee it.
The other thing that you notice after Daretham says that is that for the first time, you haven't heard any singing just before a dragon appears. This has never happened before.
Do I hear
Normally you hear singing?
Do I hear the calling?
No. So something's a little different.
so, big dragon, Grey Wardens are going to be like, I'm gonna kill that thing, and then run out. It's going to be a big old mess. We should at least let them know what we know, especially with the walking bomb here.
You hear a faint whistle coming from the Black King. He summons a raven on his shoulder, and he starts speaking to that silver raven, going, "Warn them now." And the raven flies away towards Weishaupt.
I suppose we should get ready to fight a dragon. Also, it's weird that we haven't heard the singing.
The last time we heard the song, the voice turned clear and said, "He's awake. We can't speak this way anymore."
Oh dear. Okay. So are they suppressing?
Thought, if we can turn into dragons, what's to stop them from turning into dragons? Is
Well,
that an actual high dragon, or is that
That
Corypheus?
looks like a high dragon.
We look like a high dragon. Well, we look like a spectral dragon. When we become dragonlings, we look like dragonlings.
I mean,
Daretham is
Daretham
is just-
Corypheus. I can definitely clarify that is not Corypheus.
Okay.
Dartham's gonna kind of
Good.
say,
A high dragon flies fast. We need to move now if we're gonna do anything.
Yeah.
Nathan pulls out his pistols. I can probably hit him at this range when we get close enough.
Also, I'm gonna whisper to whoever's closest to me. We're missing one. We're missing one of us.
cool.
So there's 5 of us, and there should be 6 or 7 dragon specters. Could this be one of the missing people?
It could just be a high dragon being controlled by Corypheus or one of them. Who knows?
Well, best we not wait for them to answer for us.
Yeah. Right. I mean, if Corypheus manages to get inside while the dragon fights outside, should we have a few people go inside to see if they can find Corypheus, chase him down?
I think the Black King will be our Corypheus anchor. And
You try and avoid me. Though I'd have something in my possession that he would more likely would want. And my raven is currently getting for me as we speak.
Which is?
A magical bow of elven artifact that is able to open up rifts to any place of their desire. This is currently deep in Weishaupt. My raven has been sneaking around in disguises for quite some time. Longer than Corypheus. He knows the place inside and out, and would seem to bring the item to me. This is my bargaining tool.
oh dear, I don't. Ooh, we should ensure that doesn't fall into his hands.
No.
Dear.
considering how fast a dragon flies, the dragon's already raised Weiss up to the ground by the time we're talking, right?
I assume we're running and talking.
Oh,
Yeah.
you running and talking? Okay, yeah. So you guys are moving and talking. Are you just bringing the entire party with you? Is that what's happening?
Yeah. If we can.
Yeah.
The dragon.
Alright. Yeah, might as well. Alright. That's fine.
So, also, we haven't had a rest or anything, right?
We've had a 5-minute breather. We could have taken like after the combat with the wardens.
What does that heal?
5 plus level plus con.
And is that for mana too?
Nope, mana is ours.
Okay.
This dragon is a Keltonzon.
Do we know what element that is?
That is Frosty.
Frosty. KKK.
Keltonzon.
Man, it looks like a dragon that is supposed to be made for a cake.
Cakentzon.
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 Asha's just like, I've got this. One of mine.
Our ultimate enemy.
So
Cook that
Keltonzon.
dragon! Cook that dragon
Finish that
alive!
one by biting into it, Pasha.
Like, I don't even need to cast Power of the Taint. She just automatically goes into Berserker, level 20.
Let me eat.
So everyone who wants can roll a cunning dragon lore, I guess. And because you guys went to the library, anyone who went to the library from before can add +2 to this as a focus.
Which library?
The one in Navarra.
Okay, so that's a 19 for me.
12 for me. Ooh, I'm starting to get low rolls.
14.
That 12 was from
12.
14 and above. I'm gonna say 12 and above. 12 and above. You know that the Keltonzon originated in the Hunterthorn Mountains, but in 930 Dragon, an entire flight of them migrated south and settled in lonely and isolated places. Some believe that the Darkspawn are responsible for driving them off, while others believe that only an archdemon could have caused such a flight, as the Keltonzon are legendarily stubborn. The Keltonzon's piercing scream, freezing breath, and thick scales make it a challenging foe even for the most experienced of dragon hunters. The person who got a 19 knows that the Keltonzon breathes ice, dealing cold damage. Accordingly, she's resistant to cold damage, but vulnerable to fire damage.
Dragon form it up. So he will say,
You're immune to cold, weak to fire.
Got it, Nathan says, and he immediately loads his fire bullets in his gun. And you can see that the gun is starting to flare up with fire.
ignore that.
I'm going to actually look to Pasha and say,
Mind if I hitch a ride?
Sure.
Paralyze.
and then I'm gonna get on back.
Okay.
She is immune to all status effects.
Oh.
The one notable exception is poison, which will damage her.
Never mind.
And she may generate a full guard. Okay, so she may raise her wings high up her body and flap her wings, which generates a vortex that sucks party members outside of melee range close to her, dealing damage with every flap. She has a shriek, which can cause great fear among the people that hear her. And yeah, she's very tough to defeat.
Question, do status effects include like my Entropic Cloud and Agony of the Calling and all that kind of stuff, or is it just like Paralyze and things like that?
Paralyze and things like that.
Okay.
I think that the Entropic Cloud is kind of a status effect. I would say Walking Bomb is fine.
Yeah,
Walking Bomb is fine.
it just gives a minus to stuff, but it's not like a condition,
Yeah.
if you will. So, and it worked on the last High Dragon, so.
Yeah, that's fine.
While we're running up, would I have had time to cast some buffing spells, or?
Sure.
Same,
Oh.
ditto.
Sure.
I'm
boy.
going to activate Taint Magic Mode and cast first Entropic Cloud.
Make sure you guys have your mana from the last session, so you didn't do any changes to them.
Yeah.
Alright, and Tropic Cloud goes off, so I'll add that as an aura.
Ooh, you have a failure with a 1.
Oh no!
Yeah.
You got a mishap. You got a mishap. Willpower, self-discipline.
Oh no. Well, GG, mate.
I swear, if you turn into an abomination right now.
I'm
He's
fine.
made it.
Oh,
He's
you're
knocked
fine,
prone.
you're fine, you're
He's
fine.
knocked prone. He's
Oh, also, you get 4 stun points because of your earlier cast. You can bank those as
Oh, that's
chakra.
true. Whoa. Well, I guess I get off my off the ground, and I guess that counts as one of my buffs. Just get up.
So Corypheus will notice you coming as you approach him. He does not seem afraid. He's not retreating by any means. And he is holding an action, so even if you guys were trying to, surprise him, you're not going to surprise him. He's still going to go first. So, that being said, I want to give, unless anyone wants to say anything, I wanted to give the Black King a chance to speak to Corypheus if he wants to speak to him before attacking. But if you just want to attack him without saying anything, that is perfectly cool with me. What are you going to do, Radio?
He pretty much just gonna, obviously because I know Corypheus is more looking at the Black King, he's just gonna go like this.
Oh, okay.
good old.
Pretty much. Just, just the subtle message.
Corypheus will then shout out in Ancient Tevinter. So, whoever can understand Ancient Tevinter, I'm sure Tyrion can pick up things. He basically says the words, "The higher they are," and that's all he says, is "the higher they are, ... And yes, we'll start initiative.
At the start of his turn, he has to make a magic entropy versus 21.
Magic entropy versus 21. He makes it.
Okay, so then, I'm not surprised. Let me just double check. Yep, so nothing. Continue.
Okay. He will recognize... besides the Black King, he's actually also going to recognize Daretham. Because Daretham was his slave. And even in Awakened Darkspawn form, he can recognize you, Daretham. So, Daretham, I want you to roll...
Is this a spell?
It is a spell.
How much mana does it cost?
This one costs him 20.
It does not work. I spend 20 mana to cancel it.
Okay. He rolls an ability. 50% chance. It does work.
Against a spell shield?
Yep.
Okay, do I still spend the mana, or do I not do that?
Nope, you don't have to spend the mana if you don't want to.
Okay.
You don't have to spend the mana.
I hate him.
He's endgame boss. He's an endgame boss.
Yeah, this probably isn't even gonna kill him. This is like, I'm just showing myself to you plebs.
Petty things like a spell shield isn't going to stop an endgame boss.
So, what do I need to do?
You need to roll a willpower self-discipline.
Okay. Okay.
This is called Blood Slave. Because you are a slave to him. Not gonna work. So, Blood Slave. The most feared power available to Blood Mages. This spell allows you to completely take control of an enemy's body, making them a successful, unless they make a successful willpower or self-discipline roll. If the subject fails, you may dictate his actions he takes on the next turn. The subject may attempt a new test to resist you at the start of each of their subsequent turns. Once the target successfully resists, the spell ends. All attacks made by a target under your control suffer a -2 penalty if the target chooses to resist, due to the imprecise nature of your manipulation. Targets without blood cannot be affected by this spell. So, that means that the subject may attempt a new to resist at the start of each of their turns. So you still have a chance to break. Yeah, so you still have a chance to break out of this at the beginning of your turn.
Alright.
You're okay, Daretham. It's okay.
I increase my self-discipline for this express purpose.
I don't think anyone except for Leon would know what that was.
Okay, 20 yards up. I'm gonna sort of ask, who do I shoot? The dragon or Corypheus?
I know what Pasha's gonna say.
The dragon! The dragon!
Okay. Alright, since I'm 20 yards below the dragon, I imagine, I am going to shoot it.
In the wing. In
Get
the
him,
wing.
Kieran!
In
Nathan
the
yells
wing.
out.
That I will. Alright, so I'm going to use my action to aim. And major action, I am shooting. 21 to hit.
That will hit the dragon. Roll for damage and let me know how much of it is penetrating or ignoring armor.
So this is going to be half penetrating due to the fact I'm using a tainted bolt.
Nice.
Damage, I need to do some math because that's have to be 1/4. So, alright, so it'll be 14 damage total as I shoot with the Gatlock rifle. Smack
7 of which is penetrating.
Sweet! So I've got a lot of stuff to set up, so I'm probably not going to attack. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rally for my aura, so everyone within that will gain a +1 to their melee attacks.
Nice.
And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spend a +1 to their damage.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to spend 4 points. I'm going to do 2 demoralizing cries, 1 to Corypheus, 1 to the dragon.
That does
the dragon.
Yep.
The one for the dragon, I'm going to double his vulnerability to fire, if I'm allowed to.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Is this a chakra ability, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yes, you can. And the chakra abilities are effective against Corypheus and the dragon.
Oh,
Yes.
that's brutal.
And then I'm going to make Corypheus vulnerable to blunt damage.
Nice. Okay.
And then I'm going to
Nice.
spend 2 more points for the war cry that'll make the dragon go 2 spaces of movement down to the ground. So I'm just activating rally and spending 4 points.
Nice. So he is how much closer to you to the
2
ground?
yards, you said?
It had 2,
So he's
yeah, 2
so he's
yards.
so he's 18 yards away.
Yep.
Yeah. Basically, so Corypheus is riding on the dragon, so Corypheus is 18 yards from you. The dragon is even lower because he's underneath Corypheus.
Dragon's like maybe 15 or something,
Yeah,
or like
we'll say something like
15, something like that.
Something along those lines. Well within a lot of spells' range. And certainly within the sniper rifle and gun
Lance range and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
unless I could do a thrown attack, that's all I can really get done.
Cool. So, yeah, vulnerable to fire, and Corypheus is vulnerable to blunt. Great. Black King!
Oh,
Now, Black
Alright.
King, what I will say to you is because taking down Corypheus is your shtick, all of your attacks do penetrating damage to Corypheus. All of them.
Woo! And he's vulnerable to that, so that's going to do double penetrating
And it does,
damage.
yes, which will do double penetrating
Oh,
damage.
For 3 rounds.
For 3 rounds,
Okay, for
yes.
3 rounds.
But that's still crazy good. So, what are you going to do?
obviously Black King, since he's above, he'll more likely have to use, his jumping to get onto the dragon.
Yeah, that's fine.
In order, yeah, do a roll for that.
Roll a strength jump. I just want to see what you get. 19?
Yes.
Okay. What I'm going to say, just for it to be more theatrical, if anyone has seen the original Gal Gadot Wonder Woman movie where she jumps on the shield, so Aaron Cobb will yell out, "My liege," and he'll hold his shield, which allows the Black King to jump on his shield, and he will thrust the Black King high up into the air, which allows you to land pretty much almost right next to, within melee range. Within melee range of the Black King.
Would that be a minor action or a major action?
I would say jumping is I'm gonna say it's a minor. So, the Black King, you have a major action available, and I'm gonna say that even surprises Corypheus. Corypheus is a little shocked that you are right next to him now. He does not look happy though. What do you do, Black King?
Hey, Seth. Remember me? I am going to attack. Yep. So I'm going to pull out my newest lyrium sword, the one that looks like the jagged teeth. It's pretty much called a dragon's maw. So obviously that would be heavy blades.
Okay, because Corypheus is your favored enemy, you get to add +4 to this attack roll. Whatever your normal attack roll is at 4. 19 plus 4 is 23. Yes, that's a hit. That is a hit. Roll
Double damage, whatever you roll.
Double damage, whatever you roll.
16
damage. Times 2 is 32 damage.
32.
Nice.
Is that +4 to attack and damage, or just to
just to the attack. Just to the
And also, there's a +1 from Russo's aura, so that's actually 17, which is 34.
17. Yep.
Okay.
Hey.
32 damage.
34 damage. 34 damage.
Which 34 damage? Thank you. That seems to have scratched him, but still, that's a lot of damage. His already went. Nathan, he already has his bullets ready. He is going to roll because he's been prepared for this. Nice. He will fire a fire bullet. It will hit the dragon, and it'll go. It will ignite the dragon, which also affects Corypheus. You have natural resistance to this, Black King, so you only take half of the fire damage from this blast. So first of all, the dragon takes...
Because that will be quadruple damage for the fire.
Correct. Quadruple damage. Oh my gosh. Okay. That will be 14 times 4, which is a lot of damage.
16, that's 56.
56 damage to the dragon. My goodness. However, Corypheus takes 14 fire damage, and you only take 7 Black King. If you have armor, you can ignore it with your armor. If you have armor.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I have armor.
Okay, so I will going to roll as he casts another spell. On Bomb.
Shit.
Bomb is his other blood slave. Bomb is going to...
Has to make a first another
you're right.
on his turn.
You're right,
First
you're
on
right,
his
you're
turn.
right. Willpower, self-discipline, which unfortunately Bomb has. It's okay. It's not fantastic. No. Okay. He is going to pick up a boulder, and he is going to throw it centered around here, which is going to hit... The radius of it will hit Pasha, Tyrion, Valor, Rousseau, Leon, and... Yeah, Pasha, Tyrion, Rousseau, Leon, and Valor. So everybody...
No direct damage, but like splash damage for everyone?
It's splash. So you all can now roll a Dex acrobatics, I guess. Dex acrobatics to take half damage.
18.
The TN is going to be 13. Valor has pretty good dex. Okay. Anyone who got a 13 or higher only takes 6 damage from the boulder. Otherwise, you take 12 damage from the boulder.
Detham's gonna get pushed off of Valor. Just nope, don't want to deal with this. And she's gonna kind of direct Valor to fly somewhere over here.
Okay, you can.
Just to stop clumping up. And Pasha is not built for range.
Get over here.
No, wait, actually, I can't do that. Crap, I've got no thing.
And you could hit the dragon instead of Daniel.
Yep, she's gonna. Oh no, wait, I can't even do that. She's just gonna. Yeah, she's gonna have Valor fly over, and she's gonna smack the dragon in the face with
Go
her
ahead.
sword.
Fiery weapons. Fiery weapons.
I can't even do that. I literally have no chakra.
Okay.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. Smack him in the face.
19.
That will hit. Roll for damage.
Yes.
23. Oh my gosh. Nice.
One more extra damage and
24. Okay.
24 because of Russo's aura.
Nice.
And I'm gonna use my hat to turn those
Nice.
four into
Into
stomp
chakra.
points, and I'm gonna bank them.
Bank
There we
them.
go.
There we go. Nice. All right. So Valor is going to attack the dragon. I rolled very low and misses. At this point, if you would like to direct Valor to move, you may ask Valor to move at this point. That's up to you, Pasha.
I think I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm fine where I am. We're all good.
Leon Faust.
Well, first of all, I'm going to ask Russo the book, and if he gives it to me, because I'm like right next to him, I will. Okay.
I will give you the book.
I'm going to enter blood magic mode to try to save either Darethim or Balm from the critter.
Balm. Don't worry about me. I'm not a melee fighter.
I'm gonna. Can I only do one, or can I try?
What are you trying to?
To negate the blood slave seal.
Well, first question: do you have a spell for that?
I don't have a negation spell.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead. In that case, roll your magic roll.
Okay, so
Does
just
the staff add a bonus to that? Because I think that gives a.
It does. It does.
Staff gives a +2 to blood magic. Does
Correct.
Does
Stacked with focus.
Roll
probably.
a blood magic roll.
Cool. I've got a focus on it as well. So +2 because of the staff, so that's 18.
+2 to the staff, plus plus another 2 because you're Thumiel.
Oh.
Okay. So that's 20 with two stun points.
Yeah.
20 with 2 stun points. You will be able to break the blood. You will be able to break the blood magic.
On both
blood
of us?
slave spell. No, just on one of them. Who was it you were trying to bomb? Okay,
So I
bomb
don't
is no
wanna-
longer a blood slave.
I don't want to get ogred again. And is that all of my move, or can I?
That because that will require you to lose 12 hit points, penetrating hit points damage because you used up blood.
Mhm.
Blood against blood, and you can move now if you'd like to move.
I'm gonna hide behind a pillar because I'm a scaredy Leon. Yeah, and I think
Be more Leon S. Kennedy. Come on, man.
I'm yeah, that's what I can do.
Darethim kill. Darethim kill.
Hold,
or
please.
debuff or paralyze.
Hold, please. Hold,
Okay.
please.
Oh, that's right. Go ahead and roll your resistance against his spell power.
No, that's not gonna be enough. Okay, so this is a question for you, Hark.
Yes.
Am I going evil DM mode or holding back mode?
Oh, evil DM mode.
Okay.
Oh, of
all
course.
right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
This is an endgame boss. He
so-
wants you to go evil.
Okay, so first off, whew.